McInnes Marketing Minute. This week,
Hello again.
We're following on from our topic last week.
Slight rant last week.
Slight rant last week.
It was needed though.
A slight more analytical rant today. That does follow on from this. Last week we were talking about waiting in the market today we're talking about waiting.
Wow.
In the market.
Last week we were talking about think long term. Always. It was always better to buy, what was your reference? 10 years ago. There are two good times to buy, 10 years ago or today. It makes sense because it's true.
That's it. So
as long as you think long term.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you can't.
No, that's it.
So today we're talking about buyer's patience. And quite frankly, buyer's patience equals losers.
It's not proper English, but yes. If you're patient, you are losing.
I'm English, I can flip the language however I want.
A bit clearer.
Key to this is patience is not your friend. And let's just define what we mean by patience here. There are a lot of people who go into the market and they say, we want to buy something within the next 3 months. That's absolutely fine. You're looking around for 3 months. You could find something on day 1, you could find something on day 90. But the goal of that is to buy something within that period of time that you like. The end goal is to have a property at the end of that. That's not patience, that's just smart buying.
Yep.
What we're talking about patience is those who are really trying to time the market.
Before we talk on that, which is the next point, I want to just clarify on that first point. As we also mentioned last week, patience and we were quite clear about last week, but you can never be too clear. Saving for a deposit that puts you in a comfortable position when you buy. That is also patience worth having.
Yeah.
Those are the patiences worth having. Now on to the next thing, sorry.
Because the goal is to buy essentially at the end of those, right? If you're trying to time the market and consistently put yourself off of purchasing because you're believing in whatever pseudoscience that you're looking at. Hoping. No, believing.
Well,
these people believe these wrong things, right? So whether you're looking at whatever headline it is, listening to whatever friend, this YouTube video, that YouTube video, whatever it may be, you're constantly putting yourself off and thinking that your patience means you're going to get in the market and time it perfectly, that you're going to get the deal of the century. So the funny thing about this is, and I'm just going to throw this analogy out there, the best thing about this is, and the most ironic thing about this is, patience is like somebody coming and stealing money from your wallet. But the ironic thing is it's like you're stealing your own money. I'm not going to talk about how that actually works.
It kind of makes sense, other than the fact that if you stole your own money, you'd still have it. And in this case, you no longer have it.
Okay, so it's like you took money out of your own wallet and you threw it off a cliff.
Well, that makes more sense.
There we go. But it was better than that.
Yourself.
Thank you
You
for
took your own money and threw it off the cliff.
Thank you for ruining the vibe. Anyway.
You should have been more clear as usual.
So to get onto some more analytical, some numbers here, let's take a look at, so Jay, you've got some numbers from
10 years ago. Were you in elementary school back then?
Oh, okay.
I was.
Are you done?
I have numbers from 2010, yes.
So we'll jump into the numbers quick, but before we give you these numbers, these are all based on standard size lots, so 33 by 122 lots, detached houses. Okay, just to create everything even. And these are also sold numbers, so what people have actually committed to paying.
The sold averages.
Yeah, not over inflated list prices at all. So, and this time we've actually gone Greater Vancouver rather than just Vancouver. So, Jay, Vancouver on the east side.
2010, Vancouver East.
July 2010, specifically.
Sorry, July 2010, Vancouver East. The average standard lot sale, $775,000.
Okay, well you fast forward to this year, decade later, and that's $1,624,000. So let's look at North Burnaby, outside of Vancouver now.
$819,000. Which actually surprises me looking back that North Burnaby was more expensive than Vancouver East, but it had that stigma back then and blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Yeah. So now, fast forward 10 years, that North Burnaby number is 1,794,000. So let's go to Poco. Yeah.
$504,000.
Okay. Well, flash forward again 10 years, that's 1,038,000.
All double or over.
Yeah. So to be exact, Vancouver East increased by slightly over 109% in 10 years. So a quick note on our last video, that's exactly what we're talking about long term. Like if you had just bought then, just lived your life, paid your mortgage off, done nothing.
And you know, in 2010, post 2008, the mindset was 2008, it recovered too quickly. Here, specifically, it's gonna drop again. It's gonna drop again. I'm waiting. The same thing that happened after the peak, this market last time, the same thing that's going on now with COVID. It's gonna drop again. I'm just gonna wait. When it dropped the first time and the opportunity was there, I was too scared. Normal stock market, everyone does the same thing. Now that it's hindsight and we're in a better place, next time it drops, I'll put my money where my mouth is. Watch. And you're again trying to pick and you've done nothing. You've been not proactive in the slightest and you've simply lost your savings due to inflation in the meantime.
100%. And so, okay, let's take Vancouver East, the first one on that list. That's a difference of, I think it's about 849,000, quick math, something like that. So 850,000 over a decade. So that's 85,000 a year on average.
The average dual income in Canada, that just conveniently equals 2. Yes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's it.
Okay.
I think it's 80 grand, yeah.
So on average, 85,000 a year.
So to have 2 average Canadians working for you and paying you everything. Or you could have just bought the real estate and
I'm gonna let that one go. But yeah, so 85,000, your patience of, oh no, I think the market is gonna drop next year, cost you 85,000. Times 2, ask me why it's times 2.
Why is it times 2?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Makes no sense, why is it times 2?
Okay, if you're a first time home buyer, it's times 2 because it cost you an extra 85,000 to buy that year later. And you also missed out on that equity that you would have been building if you had bought in the original price.
You could look at it that way.
You can. Well, that's what you have to look at it. It's real estate is an investment.
Well, yeah.
If you owned, of course, that number isn't quite as substantial because the gain that you would have got from your own property as well. But nonetheless, it's a lot of money. Like that's a lot of money that being patient is costing you.
2 working Canadians giving you every paycheck a year. That's the best reference of all time. We have to put that in the title because I just thought of that and it's like, you got 2 slaves just going at it every day, 9 to 5.
Just giving you their paychecks.
Or just purchase the goddamn piece of real estate.
That's it. And so, and this, something we want to hammer home here is, it's not that the market is never going to fall. That's not what we're saying. But in order for the market to fall and be worth it in your eyes, and I'm talking specifically like the naysayers out there and what a lot of the media are saying, it's not going to fall that much. So that number, so 109% Vancouver East over the last 10 years. So that works out at 10.9% a year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you times that number by 5, it's increased the market, let's just round down to 50% in 5 years. So let's say you wait 5 years continually thinking, oh, it's gonna drop, it's gonna drop. You need the market to drop 50% just to break even. So you need that $1 million home to come down to $500,000. That's never gonna happen.
I think we referenced that 2 weeks ago. Market goes up 20%, you wait. Drops 10, are you winning?
Yeah.
Then it goes up another 15, drops 5. You're picking the dips, they're still higher. You don't win.
Yeah.
Time and time again, you think you do, and you can convince yourself that you do because, well, it's 5% cheaper, 10% cheaper, let's say, than it was a year ago.
And this is the hardest thing for most people because that is an extremely bitter pill to swallow. You can sling whatever stories you want. You can skew whatever figures to tell you that this is going to happen and things are going to get better. And it's going to be a better time to buy here and there. But as time goes by and you keep telling yourself that story, you are left 10 years later wondering why you didn't buy. You've priced yourself out of the market probably as well.
Well, of course.
And you're missing out on all of that growth, and you will have no one else but yourself to blame in your own mishaps. So then you get more bitter at the market and stick there rather than just giving it and being like, you know what, I made a mistake, I need to do this and get in. It's once again the point we made last week's video. Who bought then and has seen the next 10 years worth of growth and is now sitting here today thinking, oh gosh, my property just didn't go up enough.
And
so
even
mad.
Yeah, and even at every peak before it, we're below the last peak we had now,
Yeah.
obviously. Every peak before it, be it before 2008 and whatever, at the absolute day of the peak, had you have bought, and you'd still be winning today.
100%.
So buy something you can afford, wait, and you will win. Don't try and play Mr., Mrs. Analytical.
I'm going to be
picker, all this
patient.
sort of
I'm
stuff.
going to wait
This
for the
doesn't work.
market to come down. It's not.
Because you have to go to work and you have to focus on something else every day to make the money to pay for the mortgage. Because most people's salaries are not flying up at the same rate as the real estate market. So just get in when you can and forget about it.
Otherwise, you will only have yourself to blame right at the end of it, and you'll even forget the kind of stories, numbers that you were telling yourself. So you'll just be sat there deep down knowing that you missed an opportunity looking at what it was versus what it is now.
Well, the last thing you ever want to live with is regret.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to look at it as a learning experience. You're going to look at it as regret buying, not buying because I lost X amount of money.
Yeah. And the market will not wait for you. The market will continue going. It will continue rising. And then you'll just look back at it and again shoot yourself in the foot. I can't say how many times people are shooting themselves in the foot. But that's our second round in 2 weeks. I think we should call it quits there.
Speaking on this topic.
That's it. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. As always, a pleasure. We'll see you next week.